Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our winter cycle of life groups in our series, Words Matter. We're talking about the quality of our communication because we know that our words matter. We're building our lives out of our words, so we need to make them count. Well, how many of you are like me when you get hungry? You get a little hangry. You get a little grouchy. Me, I like my food, and I really don't like being hungry. Recently, my wife had a procedure done that starts with a C and ends with scapi. For this procedure, they give you this liquid, right, to drink a day before, and it's no joke. You can't eat, and you have to take like a gallon of this stuff to clean yourself out, and hours go by, and you're just trying to survive. You get hungry, and all you want to do is eat something. Anyway, so Virginia gets there at the hospital, and the nurses are prepping her. She gets the procedure, and then they tell me that she's ready in the recovery room. So I go in, and when I go in, I see that she's munching on some crackers. She's also on her second hot tea, and the nurse is like, "Do you want some more crackers?" And she's like, "Yes, definitely." When she woke up, she was hungry and maybe a little hangry. All you want is some food when you're hungry. And you know, when I look at the world today, I think a lot of people are hungry spiritually, even if they don't fully realize it. They are longing for more to life. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11 says, "None of us can ever fully understand all God has done, but he puts questions in our minds about the past and about the future." There's got to be more to our lives, and I think people are hungry for more. People have questions like, who am I? Where did I come from? Where am I going? Does my life have any purpose? What happens after I die? What is the meaning of life? These are questions that everybody asks. Even if people don't fully realize it, they are hungry for more in their life, and I believe we have good news to share. The good news of Jesus. There's a hunger for love, and there's a hunger for God. And so as we respond to people's spiritual hunger, we need to realize that our words matter in our witness. In the sermon, we looked at Jesus' conversation with the woman at the well in John chapter 4, and we drew some lessons from this for our witness. First, we speak to whoever God puts in front of us. We speak to whoever God puts in front of us. Jesus stopped to rest at the well and met a Samaritan woman. She arrived there in the middle of the day, and it was a woman who had a bad reputation. She had had 5 husbands, and the one she was living with currently wasn't her husband. But Jesus went to whoever was in his path. That means that we need to overcome prejudices of who we talk to and who we don't. Oh, that person we wouldn't talk to about faith because they're not like me, or they're different culturally or different racially, different lifestyle, different social standing, different level of income. We need to step out of our comfort zone and go to any person that God has put in our path. This could be anyone. Second, we need to use tact when we witness. We need to use tact. Jesus was the master of words. He used something that Christians seriously lack today, and that is tact. What is tact? Well, it's been defined as diplomacy, sensitivity. One definition of it is skill and grace in dealing with others. Isaac Newton said, tact is the art of making a point without making an enemy. I like that one. Colossians chapter 4, verses 5 and 6 says, "Live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversation be gracious and attractive so that you have the right response for everyone." We don't want to make enemies when we witness. We don't want to be insensitive. We want to let our conversation be gracious and attractive. Who's going to be attracted to someone who starts the conversation by saying, "Do you know you're going to hell?" No one. Listen, ask questions. Jesus started with a question. He said to the woman, "Will you give me a drink?" How do you find a person's deep need, unmet need, their felt need? By asking questions. Jesus asked questions and he had a conversation. It was a conversation that went back and forth. It was a dialogue, not a monologue. We all know those people in our lives who treat conversation like a monologue. Maybe you are one of them. When you talk with someone like that, you're waiting for them to stop so you can share, you know? But our witness isn't a monologue. It's a dialogue. It's a back and forth. And so as you care for people, get to know them, ask questions, have a conversation, then they will be attracted to Jesus. Number 3, we must adapt to the situation. Adapt to the situation. In verse 15 of John chapter 4, the woman tried to change the topic from her personal life, because Jesus was talking to her about her husbands, to where God should be worshiped. Should he be worshiped in Jerusalem or Samaria? We must adapt the situation. Jesus adapted the situation. He was ready to shift gears sometimes. He starts by arousing her curiosity, engages her, he builds a bridge, but now he's getting down to the bottom line. He's got her attention. He's talking about her husbands. He's letting her know that he's aware of her sin, he's aware of her lifestyle, her past, her mess ups and failures. So now the woman tries to get him off the subject. It's getting too personal. She talks about where God should be worshiped and tries to take him off topic, but he does address it, and then he gets back to his point. Listen, people will try to get you off point sometimes, and that's okay. Just adapt to the situation. Just bring it back to what really matters. Don't get sucked into rabbit trails. This brings us to our point number 4, share your story. One of the most effective ways you can use your words to witness is to share your story. No one can argue with how God has worked in your life, how he changed your life. The woman at the well shared her story. She went back to the village and told them about what Jesus had done. There's nothing more powerful in our witness than a changed life. So how do we do this? How do we share our story? I want to encourage you to try to share your story in 3 minutes with 3 separate parts. First minute being what your life was like before you became a follower of Jesus. The second being how you became a follower of Jesus. And the third minute being what your life was like since becoming a follower of Jesus. 3 minutes, life before faith, how I came to faith, and what my life has been like since faith. Lastly, number 5, share the good news. What's the good news? The Bible says all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Romans chapter 3, verse 23. So first we want to share that with everybody that we talk to, that share that all people have fallen short of God's standards. But we also want to share the good news that 2,000 years ago, he sent his son. God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Listen, we don't need to know everything about the Bible. We don't have all the answers. We need to share the good news of Jesus simply to others. And as we think about witnessing with our words, speaking to whoever God puts in front of us, speaking with tact, being adaptable in our conversations, sharing our story, and sharing the good news, remember, we are just one beggar who says to another beggar, I know where the bread is. Have some bread. We're just one hungry person who says to another hungry person, I know where the crackers are. Come and see. Come and see for yourself, and maybe God will do a great work in your life. I hope you have a great discussion.